Imagine people thousands of years ago living in small groups, often near rivers or coasts. They gathered berries and fruits, sometimes hunting animals. Their lives were simple, but in harmony with nature. Now, fast forward to today, and think about a double cheeseburger. Yes, that delicious, easy to get meal. How did we go from those ancient days to our modern fast food world?
That's such a huge change, isn't it? We've come from gathering our food directly from nature to buying fast food within minutes. It's really interesting to think about. What happened to change our lives so drastically? How did we move from being hunter-gatherers to living in a world where agriculture is the backbone of our society? Let's dive into that transformation and see what led us to this fast food era.
Let's travel back to the days of early foragers. These people had a lifestyle that was simple, but rather healthy. They roamed the lands, picking fruits, nuts, and wild grains. They hunted animals to add protein to their diet. For many, the best hunting was fishing near the coast. And, if we look at their bones and studies today, we see they were quite healthy, even more than some who started farming later.
Yes, it seems their way of life was both active and balanced. So why did they turn to farming? One big reason was to have a more stable food supply. With farming, they could grow grain and store it, resulting in less risk of going hungry, even if the weather was bad. But that shift to farming was huge, leading to many changes. It wasn't just about having enough to eat. Farming helped build large societies.
Around the world, people started farming on their own at different times. In Asia, they began planting rice. Meanwhile, in the Americas, they grew maize and potatoes. In the Middle East's Fertile Crescent, wheat became a key crop. This independent rise of agriculture meant humans were figuring out how to use and change their environments. Whether it was rice fields in Asia or potato plants in the Andes, each region found what worked best for them.
But farming came with some downsides at first. It was hard work, and people had to change large parts of the environment. As more food was produced, however, cities started to grow. People didn't have to spend all day finding food anymore. They could start doing other things like crafting or trading. With more time and resources, societies became more complex, and farming was at the heart of these new developments.
In the past, when people started growing their own food, they began having extra food. This extra food meant not everyone needed to work on farms all day. Some people could make tools, others could build things like houses, and some could become traders. This was really important because it allowed cities to grow and made our societies more complicated. Building tools and things allowed civilization to expand in new ways.
But with all these changes, not everything was good. As societies became more complex, there were new problems, like inequality. Some people had more power and wealth than others, leading to issues like patriarchy. Also, to grow more crops, people changed a lot of land, cutting down forests and using more resources. It changed our world in many ways, some good and some not so good. This change has been both a blessing and a challenge.
We can't forget that changing the environment for farming has affected our planet. By changing how nature worked, we started doing things like inventing machines and using technology. All these efforts to grow more food helped us develop tools that later became new technologies. These changes also helped shape modern industries and advancements we see today in different parts of our lives.
It's interesting to connect these changes to something we know, like a cheeseburger. The way we grow the ingredients and use technology to make food is all thanks to these big changes in agriculture. We are in a complex world where food is packaged and served quickly, and that is because of the history of agriculture. We have convenience, but what does it mean for us in the long run? It's a topic full of twists and turns.
We talked so much about farming, but let's not forget about herding. It's another way people lived. Herding is all about traveling with animals like sheep and goats. It's like being a cowboy, moving around to find fresh grass. Herders have many resources. They get milk from animals, wool for clothes, and even meat when needed. This lifestyle means living on the move, which is different from planting crops and staying put.
Yes, herding played an important role, especially in areas not suited for farming. Places with less rain and big open spaces were perfect for herding. But not every region had animals fit for this lifestyle. Not many animals are easy to domesticate. That's why it was more common in certain parts of the world. For example, horses and camels were useful in deserts and open plains. Domestication was key to successful herding.
Throughout history, herders have been quite significant. Think of the Mongols, who are famously known for their way of life on horseback. They influenced large parts of history with their mobility and skills. Herding, in many ways, was seen romantically, a life of freedom and adventure. It's also about connection to animals and land. While farming meant staying in one place, herding meant having the freedom to roam and explore.
Herding has left a lasting mark, but it didn't shape the world as farming did. Farming led to cities and the vast changes we see today. But herding has its own legacy. It's like two sides of the same coin. Herding still influences diets, clothing, and even traditions today in many cultures. It sets the stage for our next topic: how the domestication of animals steers the development of societies, a real game changer in history.
Let's talk about domestication. Around the world, people picked certain animals to live with. These animals gave them milk, wool, and meat. Think of cows, sheep, and chickens, so important for survival. Each of these animals was useful, like sheep for clothing and cows for milk. They thrived with humans because they can live close to us and give us what we need.
Yes, but not all animals could be domesticated. Some, like zebras, are too wild or dangerous. Others, like elephants, take too long to breed. So, only some animals became part of human life this way. And it had a big impact. Having animals helped people have more food and other goods. It changed economies, as animals became part of trade and resource management.
As more animals lived with humans, societies grew. They could produce more food, leading to larger towns and trade between them. Animals also let people experiment with farming. But there was an ecological cost. As we needed more land for these animals, we changed the environment a lot. Forests were cut, and lands were used solely for grazing.
This link of animals to food abundance plays a role in things like the modern cheeseburger. It all ties back to how humans innovated, changing what we could eat and how. Thanks to this history of domestication, now we have so many choices. It also shows how humans adapted to new needs and challenges, blending old ways with new ideas.
So far, we have explored the journey from ancient hunters to the world of cities and farms. Now, let's look at what these choices mean for our world today. Each step humans took, like cutting down forests for farms, has shaped our environment. Changing the land was necessary for growing more food, but it also meant losing many natural spaces. Today, we can see how these actions impact our lives.
Yes, it's like a balance. We've grown and built amazing things, but we've also used many resources. Take fossil fuels, for example. They helped us farm more efficiently and create many things, but they also led to pollution and climate change. It's like two sides of a coin. Growth has both positive and negative effects, and we see it in our food, like that easy-to-buy burger. Fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the choices we made long ago continue to influence us. Imagine living without these developments. Everything, from simple meals to advanced technology, has roots in these historical choices. Even today, we feel the effects of past decisions every single day. It's all connected in ways we may not notice at first. And some choices are like ripples on water, going far beyond what anyone expected.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if going from foraging to farming was a good decision. On one hand, it allowed us to grow and thrive in ways we wouldn't have thought possible. On the other hand, it also brought challenges and harms to the environment. It's a big question if all this change was really for the best. And now more than ever, the question of sustainability becomes crucial.
We have come a long way from the times of hunting for food to the busy life we know today. This journey shows us how humans have changed and grown over thousands of years. We can learn a lot from history, and it can help us find new ways to handle the challenges we face now. It's quite something to think about how the past can guide us in finding solutions for the future.
Absolutely. Understanding history is so important. It shows how choices made long ago still affect our lives today. By looking back, we see patterns and lessons that offer insights for today's problems. It's like history provides a handbook for better decisions. Everything from our food systems to technology has roots in the past. Without history, we might miss out on important lessons. Seeing where we've been can help guide where we go next.
Yes, studying history is vital because it shows us how to make wise choices today. Knowing what happened before helps us see today's world more clearly. For example, we see how past farming practices changed our environment and how that still impacts us. These lessons can make us more aware of global issues like food security. We can learn to avoid past mistakes and improve things for future generations in better ways.
History is like a roadmap for solving future problems. By understanding what worked and what didn't, we can improve our lives and the world. The choices made by ancient societies have long tails. They can teach us how to manage resources better and adapt smartly. It's fascinating how understanding these past events helps us face our own challenges, like balancing growth with protecting our environment.
We've had such an interesting conversation today, covering the journey from foraging to modern agriculture and the food we enjoy now, like that cheeseburger. Over the podcast, we've seen how ancient choices have shaped our lifestyles today. This reflection helps us appreciate the convenience of our lives, but also reminds us to be thoughtful about our roles in shaping the future. We hope you found this discussion thought-provoking and engaging.
Absolutely. History offers endless lessons. We invite you all to continue exploring how our past influences our present and future. By understanding these stories, we gain insights that help us make better choices today. Please show your support by liking and subscribing to our podcast. Comment to let us know your thoughts and questions. Stay tuned for more exciting journeys into history. Thank you for being with us on this adventure.